The wind howls through the streets of Minneapolis like a living thing. Snow slams against the windows, piling up faster than the city can clear it. It's minus 15 degrees Celsius, 5 degrees Fahrenheit, 35 centimeters of fresh snow, and the night is just getting started. Outside, everything looks hostile. Empty streets, frozen air, a storm that doesn't forgive mistakes. Parked between silent buildings sits an old Ford Explorer, half covered in snow. It looks abandoned at first glance, forgotten, but inside there is someone. His name is Derek. He looks like someone most people would pass without a second thought. His clothes are worn, slightly torn in places, layered unevenly. Not filthy, but clearly used for too long. His beard is overgrown, rough, untrimmed. His face tired. Not completely unclean, but far from put together. He looks like a man surviving on the edge. And yet, he's not panicking. He's lying still. No engine, no heater, no safety net. Just a metal shell that, in this kind of cold, should feel more like a coffin than a shelter. And still, he's asleep. Not shaking, not fighting the cold, sleeping. So the question hits immediately, how is he still alive? Most people would assume the obvious solution: keep the engine running, let the car produce heat. But Derek doesn't have that option. Running an engine all night costs between $40 to $60 in fuel. For someone living in a car, that's not just expensive, it's impossible. And even if he could afford it, there's something worse. Every year, hundreds of people in the United States die from carbon monoxide poisoning. You don't smell it, you don't see it, you just don't wake up. So Derek made a different choice. Instead of trying to create heat, he learned how to keep it. Because the truth is simple: your body already produces warmth. The real problem is losing it, and the biggest weakness is the glass. Windows lose heat up to 25 times faster than insulated surfaces. You could wrap yourself in blankets and still freeze if the windows keep pulling warmth out of the space. So he covered them. Each window is sealed with cut-to-fit insulation, reflective, silver side facing inward. It bounces heat back into the car instead of letting it escape. Between the glass and the insulation, a thin layer of trapped air forms. Dead air, well, it doesn't move, it doesn't carry heat away. And just like that, heat loss drops dramatically, but insulation alone isn't enough. Warmth depends on air, trapped air. Mountaineers climbing Denali rely on this principle to survive extreme cold. Derek uses the same idea: one sleeping bag inside another. It doesn't just add warmth, it creates a new system. The space between the layers traps air, forming a barrier that slows down heat loss. Two basic sleeping bags, each rated for minus 5 degrees, can together handle conditions closer to minus 20. And none of it is expensive. He built his setup from secondhand gear, around $8. Still, insulation only slows the loss. It doesn't replace heat. So Derek stores it before the night begins. Water. Water holds heat longer than almost anything you can easily carry. Before settling in, he fills a bottle with hot water from a gas station, sometimes even a McDonald's. Wrapped in a sock to prevent burns, he places it near his femoral artery. Instead of heating the air, it warms his blood directly, sending heat through his entire body. Efficient, simple, effective. But there's one more threat: moisture. Over the course of a night, the human body releases up to half a liter of water just by breathing. Inside a sealed car, that moisture has nowhere to go. It settles into fabric, into insulation, and once that happens, everything changes. Wet insulation loses up to 80% of its effectiveness. Warmth disappears fast. So Derek stops it at the source: a vapor barrier. Something as simple as a plastic bag layered over a thin sock locks moisture in before it reaches the insulation. It's uncomfortable, It feels wrong, but it works. His feet stay dry. His system stays intact. Outside, the storm keeps building. Snow covers the vehicle layer by layer. Most people would brush it off. Derek doesn't, because snow, despite everything, is an insulator. Like an igloo, it traps air, blocks wind, and helps stabilize the temperature inside. Even where he parks matters: large buildings, hospitals, south-facing sides, places that hold and release just a bit more heat into the night. Small details, small advantages, but together they become the difference. Piece by piece, Derek built a system, not from comfort, not from luxury, from understanding. So when the storm reaches its peak, when the cold should be unbearable, when everything about this situation looks deadly, he closes his eyes, not as someone barely surviving,